Yo, check it out now.
So, welcome everybody. We are Spirito Vegano. Thank you for tuning into our channel. This is our 4th video now, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. So, thank you for coming to watch. Today we are going to be talking about
A social media cleanse that we decided to do. It was about a month ago. It was an interesting journey, but it was great. I enjoyed it.
So we're going to just talk about what it entailed, basically how we felt in the beginning, the middle, and the end of it, and just any like other comments about it.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk about your experience first, and then I'll talk about mine?
Okay, all right. So I decided to do a social media cleanse because I felt like social media was overtaking my life and like something like that I would just do for no reason at all. Like I'd be in line at the grocery store and I'm like, oh, okay, let me just get on my phone and check. Or I'd be at home and all of a sudden 30, 45 minutes would pass and I'd just be scrolling and it's like, what was the point of doing that when I could be, I don't know, doing something else? Or like if I was in with her, like I'd be like, oh, somebody like liked my picture, let me go see who it was, and it like takes away from the person interaction that you had. And so we did it for the entire month of September. We did it August 31st.
We did.
And honestly, my first week, I was like, what do I do with my life? Like I was like, what do people do? Like what do you do when you're not on Instagram? Or what do you do when you pick up your phone? And it's like, I didn't know. It was interesting. But after that, I really enjoyed it. Like I felt a lot more present. I felt like I was getting a lot more from the interactions that I was having with people. Like I would pick up on different things that I wasn't picking up on before. Like I was more aware of what was going on with them, what was going on with me, and how they were adding to my life or how I was adding to their life. I would go on like walks and I'd be like, oh my gosh, it's a tree, and I just thought it was the most amazing thing ever. And so it was a great experience. And after I think about a week, maybe a week and a half, I didn't even miss it. Like I was just happy without it. And then whenever we got it back, I think we've had it back for like what, 10 days now?
Yeah, something like that.
And I noticed an immediate difference in like how I felt and what my daily routine consisted of, and I could feel it coming back and like being more, social media based and like taking away from my person-to-person interactions and just my interaction with myself too. Because if I have like a lull or like a period of time where I'm not doing anything, I'm like, oh, well, I'll just get on my phone and check Instagram. Whereas before I would go and sit outside, or I'd read a book, or I'd just, I don't know, eat. And like cook up something, or I don't know, I'd go and hang out with her, hang out with another friend, and just be like really present and be in that moment with them, versus just, I don't know, just having that, just like doing it. So that was kind of my experience with it.
That's great. So my experience was pretty similar. So the whole reason that I decided to join her on this social media cleanse, I think it was her idea.
It was my idea.
Okay, which I'm glad she came up with, because I felt like I was definitely spending like a lot of time on my phone and talking to the people that I know on different social media platforms. And don't get me wrong, it comes in handy because I have people like all over the States and all over the world that I get to talk to on a daily basis if I wanted to. But kind of like what Daphne said, I wasn't being present for the actual people who were in my life in that very moment. So the very first, I'd say the first week, it definitely brought up a lot of like anxiety for me. Kind of like what she said with, I would pick up my phone and I would like instinctively go to click on where Instagram or Facebook or like anything else was. And I didn't have that outlet. Like some people can use it like in social situations where like if they don't want to talk to people or if they're feeling anxious. Like I know I do this, if you're sitting alone at a coffee shop waiting for your coffee or waiting for your friends to show up. Like one of the things you do is, or what I do, is I pick up my phone and I'm like, well, let me talk to somebody on Instagram, let me text somebody, let me talk to somebody. So it like took that away. So I started to actually feel a lot of the feelings that came with, that were already inside of me. I just didn't have that outlet to numb it. I had to face it. which was really cool because once you get past that, 6 to 7 days of feeling that anxiety, or at least that's something I've struggled with for a long time, then it started to feel amazing because I was so present for the people around me, and the people who noticed that I wasn't on social media, who noticed I wasn't posting, because I post, I would say, moderately to very frequently. It's like almost everything I'm doing. I don't post a lot of the details of what I'm doing, but I definitely will post like where I am, what I'm doing, who I'm with, how I'm feeling. So the people that noticed that I wasn't doing that, they reached out to me. So that felt really special, to have somebody text me and be like, hey, what's up? Haven't heard from you, haven't seen what you're doing. And what I've also noticed, it's kind of creepy the way that we live in this society where you don't even need to know somebody, or you do know somebody and you know everything about them, so you never have to hit them up and say, hey, what's going on? Like, what are you doing in your life? All you have to do is go to their Facebook and you see who they're married to, what their kids look like. Their kid lost their first tooth, you already knew about that. Like, we're sharing all these personal, intimate moments with the world, and it gave me a chance to step back and reflect on what am I sharing with the world and what do I want to share with the world, so I can be a little bit more intentional about that now. So yeah.
True. And it also gives you, kind of going back to what you said about like sharing different things with people, I feel like it can also take away from your person-to-person interaction.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
I meet you, like I've known you on social media maybe for a year, and then I meet you in person, and I'm like, I already have this idea in my head about how you are as a person based on what I've seen on social media.
Or what they portray.
Yeah, what they portray
on
so
social media.
Yeah. So then when I meet you, it's like, it almost like takes away from the interaction, because it's like if you don't meet that expectation, then I'm like, well, you're fake, but it's like, no, they're not fake. It's just what you see on social media. The person that's real is a person that's sitting in front of you. It's like the experience you're having then, not what you're seeing on the screen, right? It's people only post what they want to see. And then, so I mean, you can take away from that, and then, I mean, you might know something about somebody that you shouldn't know, like if you're, well, not that you shouldn't know it, but if you're like snooping and you're like, so you meet them in person.
You're on his ex-girlfriend, sister's brother's mother's aunt page.
Yes, exactly.
Now you know about Aunt Brenda. It's like, how you know about Aunt Brenda?
Yeah.
Because you look at his Facebook.
Yeah, because you were creeping. Another word for you were creeping.
You were creeping.
Doing some investigative research.
He's investigative.
Yeah, and so then it's like, you know all this stuff about this person that they didn't even tell you. Then maybe, they don't have to tell you anything about themselves, but I don't know, then you don't give them a chance to express it in the way they want to. So I thought that was interesting. And it also made me more aware, kind of like what you said about what I am sharing with people. Like, do I really want people to know this about me, or am I just talking because I'm gonna feel, I just want to move my mouth.
Just talking into the void,
Yeah. So, yeah.
And I would agree with Daphne on, like, I had the immediate, like, negative, like, flowing back of all this, like, all the time that I would spend on it, like, negative self, like, I really don't have a lot of negative self-talk, but a lot of the negative self-talk I get is from comparing myself to others and what others' highlight reel is on their social media pages. So even though I'm super, super, super grateful for my life and everything and everyone in it, my brain starts to think, you need to be here, you need to do this, you need to look like this, and you need to like be this way to be happy, where that's not even true at all. So I immediately had all those like negative effects just come rushing back in within the first day or two, honestly. And I can have a very addictive personality, so I saw myself just I would get on whatever platform and I would just get sucked in, and I had no self-control over like how long I was even on it. Like I would just like lose time and doing what? Not even nurturing my soul in any way. And kind of on like a little side note, we gossip less about other people.
Yes,
that
was a big thing, because we would like see stuff like, oh, did you see what so-and-so posted? And it's like, yeah, you saw it, but it's like, what's the point in talking about it?
Right, and then you start to go
down like this, it's like a little, it's like a rabbit trail, and you just like go down it, and I don't want to say we didn't gossip at all, maybe we did a little bit, but I don't remember like everything we talked about was stuff that we were going through, that we were experiencing. And I feel like we could really be there for each other in like a different way.
Yeah.
Because, we talked about what we were going through, or like stuff that we saw happen.
Right, and we weren't talking about other people's experiences and what other people were doing in their lives. And honestly, talking about other people when they're not in the room is just ugly.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah, that was good. And then back to the comparison thing, I think that's like a big thing with social media is you compare, your life to somebody else's, and then you just feel like you feel down, and it takes a toll on you, especially if you do it first thing in the morning. And it's like, because I got on one time in the morning, and I told her, I was like, I was on it for like 30 minutes, and like, I felt like
she didn't make the connection at first. She was like, I'm just in a down mood. And I was like, okay, well, what did you do when you wake up?
Yeah.
When you woke up?
And I got on social media, and I had like done this whole comparison thing, and I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. So like getting on there first thing in the morning, it's like she said, you're already like putting stuff into your brain, and your brain is like just waking up.
So you're like really putting it into your, I know that the word is not you're putting it into your subconscious, but you're putting it into your conscious mind. But I truly, truly believe that if you want to like manifest things into your life and you want things to become a reality, think about it the first thing when you wake up before you're able to process any other idea, thought, or emotion, or realize that you're in this human body for one more day. And think about it at night before you put yourself to bed, because your body is in this like you go from different states in your sleep, and I believe we go through different states in our waking life too. So when you first pop into consciousness, what do you want to think about? What whoever down the block is doing? No, you want to think about your dreams, your manifestations, and what you want to bring to fruition, not what somebody already brought to fruition. Like, think about your own dream, your own goal, your own truth.
Yeah.
Not some gossip.
Your own life. Yeah.
So yeah, elevate your mood, focus on yourself. Who cares what other people are doing? Monitor what you're posting to other people.
Yeah.
That's what I got out of it.
I
Yeah. And I just been present in the moment. So we're gonna go ahead and upload this channel to our social media outlet of choice.
So I mean, I don't think social media is a bad thing.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think it can be used the right. I think it can be used the right way. Like, it's a great way to connect with other people that you wouldn't normally see in your day-to-day life. It's a great way to express yourself in, like, what some people have, like poetry Instagrams, or like art or photography. I think it's different for everybody. It's realizing when it's taking a negative impact on your life, and it's taking up more of your life than perhaps it should, and it's taking away from your day-to-day interactions, from essentially from like who you are and what you get to experience. So
Beautifully said. So yeah, so all in all, I'm gonna keep my Instagram and Facebook and all of that, but I'm definitely more mindful now when I'm on it.
Yeah.
And I see no I have to edit this part because I can't remember the words. Like, I can see like no problem in like doing a social media detox, like taking a month off every 2 months, every 3 months, like whatever it is. And also I will say that I went on a detox, like a food detox, like juice cleanse during the same time.
Idea.
That was my idea, and it was fabulous. Well, we'll make another video about the juice
we'll
cleanse.
do another one on that one.
But I decided to like basically like upheave everything in September. Like, it was this big like just uprooting of everything. Like, when you go into your house and you just like you take out, like, everybody's got that junk drawer. It's like you go into your kitchen and you open the junk drawers, and you didn't just rearrange, like you dumped everything out. Like, that's what I did in September. And I feel like I walked out of it like I threw away the shit I didn't need. I gave away the things that I didn't want anymore that didn't serve me, and I kept the things only that I wanted to keep. And in high school, I like heard this. There's like this little line that said, "Only keep things in your house that you believe to be useful or beautiful." And
I like that.
I have like that like stuck with me, and so that's kind of how I feel. I walked into October feeling, and then I cluttered my mind back up with Instagram.
We waltzed into
I walked into October like everything I got is useful and beautiful. I don't know about you, but
So it was great. I definitely agree with her. I will do it again in the future.
yeah, same. I'm already ready to do it again.
Yeah.
And only really like put out content when I feel like called to share a message. And like you know, I do like to see what my friends, you know, on other parts of the country or the world are doing, because like I love you guys, like I love like everybody that I'm connected to, but I don't think we need to be so enmeshed in every detail of everybody's life to the point where we don't get to have these personal connections anymore. Because if you want to know what somebody's doing, you just click on their page and you know what they're doing, or you can like shoot them a message, which is never the same as like face-to-face interaction.
Or even just like picking up the phone, it's different.
Right. Yeah, and if people are so afraid, like if somebody crosses your mind, I feel like I'm way less likely, you know, as social of a person as I am way less likely to pick up the phone and give them a call. I would rather just like shoot them a DM, be like, hey, what's up, how you doing, thought about you, or like shoot them a text. But
yeah, I think calling is,
it's more personal, and it's,
yeah.
you know, and it's like people have lost that, like we've lost that touch. Like we get to put a filter on everything.
Yeah.
Alright, so I guess that wraps it up.
Thank you guys for watching.
Alright, we'll see you guys next time for the, I guess, the juice cleanse video.
Yep.
If you'd like to, you can follow our page, you can like the video,
subscribe.
on there, subscribe, tap the bell. I'm doing the, you know, the YouTube thing,
all the
where they're like, you
stuff.
find the thing and you click the thing.
Whatever, you subscribe.
If you like what we talk about, you can subscribe to us.